Well, we're nearly at the end of the 2025-26 OHL season preview series, and this team, I actually got an email asking when I was going to do this video, and today we're going to do it. It's the North Bay Battalion, and this is a team that's been quite competitive over the last few years. They had three consecutive trips to the Eastern Conference Final, and then last year took a step back, but they still made the postseason, and I think this team might be primed for another decent run this upcoming season. So let's go through it. Let's go back to the 2022-23 campaign where they had a record of 48-17, 2-1, 99 points. That's when they won the Central Division and went all the way to the Eastern Conference Final and lost in 7 games to the Peterborough Petes. The following year, again, they won the Central Division title with a record of 39-27-2, 87 points. Again, Eastern Conference Final, lost in 7, this time to the Oshawa Generals. And you see that they've had a bit of a steady decline in the points. And I think they've hit the bottom mark for this franchise, as I think they're ready to turn it around. Last season, a record of 28-34-6 for 62 points. Still made the playoffs. It was quite the race for that final playoff spot in the East between North Bay and Ottawa last season. They ended up facing the Brantford Bulldogs in the opening round and lost that series in 5 games, but still put up quite the fight against the top team in the East Division. Now, when you look at the stats last year, their goals for per game was 2.85. So goals for was a struggle for the North Bay Battalion, but they found ways to win 1-goal games. And you have to give credit to the defense and the goaltending of this team. And much of it is returning for this upcoming season. Their goals against per game, 3.7. Their power play last year, it struggled 18%. That was 15th overall in the OHL, but their penalty kill, 6th best in the OHL at 81.7%. And that's why I think this team's showing signs that they're primed to go on a bit of a run, or at least play a bit of spoiler in the Central Division at least. Your top 5 scorers last year, Ethan Procession led the way, 34 goals, 30 assists, 64 points. Your second was Jacob LeBlanc, 10 goals, 42 assists for 52 points. Of course, he's graduated. He was an overager last year. Shamar Moses, who was the big pickup at the start of last season from the Barrie Colts, ended this season with 12 goals, 36 assists for 48 points. He has really excelled after being picked up in North Bay. And then Jacob Tarian, 4th in scoring last year, 17 goals, 21 assists for 38 points. He was actually traded away during the offseason, so a bit of the sandpaper out of the lineup here, but I don't think North Bay is going to miss that too much here. And then 5th in scoring last year was Liram Amidovsky, 19 goals, 13 assists for 32 points. And you see there, if your 5th best scorer only has 32 points, you guys were struggling when it came to the offense. The goaltending, though, Mike McIver, 22-17-3 was his record, 910 save percentage, one of the best save percentages in the Ontario Hockey League last season. He's coming back, so that's going to be a big boost for this battalion club. And then the other goaltenders that appeared in games last year, Jack Lisson, 3-7-1, 875 save percentage, not too bad there. Charlie Larocque, the rookie goaltender, 3-10-1 was his record with an 851 save percentage. And then Carter Nadom, he appeared in just one game. It was an overtime loss, and he has an 865 save percentage, so a very small sample size. But goaltending-wise, I feel as though the North Bay Battalion are in a pretty good spot, especially with Mike McIver in the crease. During the offseason, they didn't pick up anyone through trades, but they did send Ryth Smith to the Niagara Ice Dogs and Jacob Tarian to the Owen Sound Attack, so no big losses there for this North Bay Battalion club. Now, on the signings front, they did sign their first-round selection, Cam Warren. A lot of excitement around him. I remember doing the interview when we were talking about the 2025 OHL priority selection. There was a lot of excitement about Warren's game, as we'll see how it translates coming into the OHL this season. They also signed second-round selection Carter Kapaski. He's coming in from the Ottawa area. And then Brant Harper from the United States. He is signed on. He's a pretty big defenseman, so that's why they could afford to let Tarian move off to Owen Sound. I think Harper will probably take a spot there on the defensive unit. And they've also signed 5th-round selection Cole Vrugendahl. That one's a fun one to say. He's a goaltender. He's probably set for the future. They did sign him, but so maybe we see him get a start at some point this season. And then they've also signed their 2 imports this season, Evgeny Debratsev and import Arseny Pronin. So those 2 will be rounding out the 3 imports that teams are allowed to have this upcoming season. Now, their draft cupboard it's decent. They don't have a second-round pick for 2026, but they have 3 in the 3rd round. They also have Windsor's fourth and their own fifth. In 2027, they have Sarnia's second round pick, two in the fourth, then two in the fifth. Then in 2028, Erie's second round pick, a third. They also have Erie's fourth, and then two in the fifth. And they already have two second round selections in 2029. So if this team is looking to add, which they may, because they only have one overage candidate at the time of recording, that's Bronson Ride. So they could look to add more veteran players to this roster. And if they do that, they probably don't have to give up too many draft picks. And then that's where I think even next year, this team could then challenge for maybe top spot in the Central Division. Although I think this upcoming season, they might make the Central very interesting. I have the Barrie Colts as maybe being the team that takes the Central Division this year, but don't count out the North Bay Battalion. This might be a bit of a hot take, but I have North Bay finishing in the top three of the Eastern Conference standings this year. I like the look of this team on the offense with Shamar Moses. They also picked up Parker Vaughn, of course, in the big trade with the Barrie Colts for Romani and Van Steensel. And then you also have Ryder Cali coming up. Wellen Ryder. He was fantastic after signing with the Battalion last year. So they have a lot of young players. It's a younger core, but it's an exciting core. So I think for the Battalion fans, you're going to be spoiled these next couple of seasons. And this year, I think they could challenge for top spot in the Central Division and could finish top three, I believe, in the Eastern Conference standings. Now, the channel vote kind of goes against what I'm saying. 6% expect the North Bay Battalion to finish top three. 61% think the North Bay Battalion will be middle of the pack between fourth and sixth. And then 32% expect North Bay at the bottom of the standings between 7th and 10th. So I'm going a bit against the grain here with the channel vote because I kind of see the Battalion as being like the Kingston Frontenacs last year. Nobody expected Kingston to go on a run like we saw last year, and they nearly took top spot in the Eastern Conference. So if North Bay stays healthy, they get the solid goaltending from McIver, and then the offense, if it can click, why not? I think the Battalion are in a good position here for this upcoming season and most definitely going into 26, 27, so in 2 years from now. So that's how I see it from the booth. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the Battalion and where do you expect them to finish in the upcoming regular season. Love the interaction. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Talk to you again soon.